I am Ray W. Brown, and I'm a professor emeritus in mechanical engineering. My specialty is thermal systems, which means pumping systems, piping systems, heat exchangers, anything that's used to move energy from one place to another. This is my 50th year on the faculty here. I spent a number of years as a student. I'm from Memphis, from Shelby County, and I wanted to be an engineer, and actually wanted to be an engineer as a result of the Russians. When they put up Sputnik, there was a huge hue and cry to ramp up our technology, and engineering looked like the promising career for everybody, so that spurred me to go into engineering. Christian Brothers was the only engineering school in the area, so I wound up here. I was smart enough to get by in high school, but I never really applied myself. But that changed when I got to college. I really started working toward it. I had the great good fortune to have Brother Lambert Thomas as a calculus teacher my very first semester here. I got put in his class, and quite frankly, it changed my life. I was so impressed by him. He truly was a master teacher. He was extremely organized. We had a quiz every day of class. We met every day and we had a quiz every day. Anyone who was in his classes will echo what I'm saying. He really was a master. I mean, I can remember students in a calculus class on their feet arguing about things like limits. And anyone who has ever been in calculus or math will realize what an accomplishment that was on his part. By the end of my freshman year, I had decided that I wanted to go into academia, and furthermore, I wanted to go into academia here.
Ray, they've asked me to say a few words about you. The first time I met you was about 55 years ago. I was a freshman, it was 1961. You were a senior, you were president of the Student Government Association. I was a freshman wearing a red derby called a worm, and you upperclassmen kept us in line. You graduated in 1962, I graduated in 1965. You went to graduate school, I went to graduate school. We came back, we taught again in 1967. I left again in 72. I've never met a student who you had in class that didn't say you were one of the best teachers they ever had. I came back again in 1999, you were still here. Imagine by now you've taught almost 50 years, and it's been a pleasure working with you, and I wish you well.
Ray, you were the best teacher I ever had in my entire life, and I really, really mean that. You could take the most complicated subject and have me understand it before I left the classroom. I couldn't retain it after I left the classroom, but you opened my mind. You made me want to learn for the first time in my life. I even senior year took a class that I had no interest in just to watch you work. I loved every class I had with you, and there aren't many classes I loved, I can tell you that. Ray, you are a treasure. CBU is really lucky to have you.
I think my mission is the same as any teacher, and that's to get students to a point where they can think independently and solve problems as engineering people. We put them in situations that require thought and require problem solving, and hopefully exercising that particular skill is what sets people on the road to a productive life. Engineers serve by being good engineers, by building safe things for people to use. The automobiles that you drive in, the bridges that you cross, the buildings that you walk through, you don't expect any of those to fall down or fail. This was a very modest operation when I started. The buildings were the administration building, can recall what we called the fort, which was a power building, and a couple of other buildings, some barracks that the Army gave us during World War II, and not much more than that. Since then, there has been an enormous increase in the facilities, increase in the faculty, increase in every area, and administratively, everything. So this is a different place, an entirely different place. We've come a long way in 50 years. I've done everything. I've been teacher, I've been administrator, I've been a student here. I've been everything but a Christian brother, I suppose. But I guess the thing that I'm most proud of is our students. We've graduated some extremely successful citizens, not only good engineers and successful engineers, but good citizens. there's an old saying that I learned long ago. It says, bloom where you're planted. And I took that to heart. I think you do the best with where you are.